Okay, boys and girls, so this is going to be your homework for Monday. And we are on a new reading this week. So the reading today is called Fireboats of New York. I'm going to read that again. Fireboats of New York. Have you ever seen a fireboat? What are fireboats anyway? And what do they do? Many years ago, as New York City was growing, problems were growing. 2. Many goods were shipped out of New York. Many goods were shipped into New York. The ships, docks, and warehouses along the harbor had to be protected from fire. The fire department had to find a way to fight fires there. Their engines were useful only on land. What could they do? They decided to use fireboats. The very first fireboat used by the fire department of the city of New York, FDNY, was a tugboat rented in 1865 called the John Fuller. It could pump 2,000 gallons of water each minute. It took the water directly from the river. The first real fireboat in New York City was the William F. Havemeyer. The ship entered service in 1875. It had a wooden hull and could pump 3,000 gallons of water each minute. The Havemeyer served New York City until 1901. By that time, people had learned that fireboats with wooden hulls were not such a good idea. Can you guess why? The boats could catch on fire too. They began making fireboats from steel. On land, it might take many fire engines to put out a fire. On the water, it usually takes just one fireboat. Fireboats have amazing power. One fireboat can pump about as much water as 20 fire engines. Fireboats also help fires on the many waterways of New York. These firefighters save people from burning ships, docks, and warehouses. They save millions of dollars worth of goods, too. They are a very important part of the fire department of New York City. Okay, so for your Monday homework, you are going to read and annotate the text. You can have somebody read it to you. Remember, when you are annotating the text, you are just going to be numbering the paragraphs and also just taking notes on the side as to what the paragraph is about. Okay, that is what we mean by annotate. You are taking notes. Okay, the second part of your homework, identifying the main idea. We've been working with main idea, so you're going to identify the main idea. Authors support their main idea with what we call supporting details. You can think of the main idea as the cover of an umbrella. It is the big idea that covers the smaller details. Read the following paragraph. In the umbrella diagram below, fill in the main idea and 2 supporting details. Here is your story. Oscar and his family decided to enjoy an afternoon of bowling. The 4 of them, Oscar, his sister Allie, and his parents, all piled in their van and headed to the local bowling alley. Bowling is one of Oscar's favorite activities, so he couldn't wait to slip on those bowling shoes and get started on knocking down some pins. Because his sister is so young, she had to have the guard rails up so that the ball would not travel into the side gutters. Oscar, however, was a pro. He didn't need any gutter rails and wound up getting a pretty good score after a couple of games. He even got 2 strikes in a row during one of the games. After he and his family were finished bowling, they decided to go out for some delicious hot dogs and refreshing ice cream. What a wonderful afternoon they had. Okay, so down here you're going to put the main idea. So what was the main idea of this paragraph? Okay, and then you're going to identify the supporting detail from the main idea. Supporting detail number 1, that's going to go here. And then you have supporting detail number 2, and that's going to go here. Okay, remember the detail supports the main idea. Okay, and then you have this comparing and order numbers. So this is lesson 1.3. Okay, so you're going to just compare and order the numbers. So how this works is you're going to look at the digits that you have. Okay, so let's start with number 2. We'll do number 2 together. Okay, so what I usually do is I start from left to right. So we're going to go and we're going to say, okay, 1 and 1. Okay, that's the same digit. Okay, so let's go to the next digit. The next digit we have, that's in the hundreds. So let's go ahead and look, and that is a 3 and a 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and identify which number is bigger. Is it the 3 or is it the 4? In this case, it's the 4. Okay, so we are going to have the arrow or the alligator eating the bigger mouth. Okay, I'm sorry, eating the bigger number. Excuse me. Number 3. Okay, so let's look at 3. We already did number 2 together, so let's look at 3. Okay, so we're going to start off with looking at from left to right. So we have 5 and 5. That's the same. 2 and 2. That's the same. 6 and 6. That's the same. 9 and 9. That's the same. 2 and 2. That's the same. So this number or this answer is going to be equal because they are equal. There's no less than or greater than. They are equal. Okay, order from least to greatest. Make sure that you are reading the directions. So you're going to order from least to greatest. That means less, so smallest to biggest. Okay, so one way to do that is go ahead and start by, of course, looking at your numbers that you have here. So we have 23, 23, 23. Okay, those are the same. We have 7, 7, and 7. Those are the same. So we have 1, 1, 5, and 1. Okay, so now I'm going to compare this one to this one. Okay, so then I now have to go to the ones. So let me go ahead and do this a little bit better. So then now I have 0 and 5. Well, obviously 0 goes first. So it's going to be 23,710. Then we're going to have 23,715. Then we have 23,751. Okay, so that's how you do that. Remember, you're doing it from least to greatest, less to biggest, smallest to biggest. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at number 11. Okay, let's take a look at these digits here in the front. We have 52, 54, and 5. Okay, or how many digits do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 digits. So this one is going to go first. So 5,206. So let's go ahead and look at the other digits. Okay, so I have 52. 52 and 54. Which one is the least? 52. So we're going to go 52,701. And then we have 54,025, since that's the number that's left over. Okay, don't forget to do 12 and 13. Problem solving. You're going to have to do this word problem. I will read it to you. 14 says, an online newspaper has 350,080 visitors in October, 350,489 visitors in November, and 305,939 visitors in December. What is the order of the months from greatest to least number of visitors? Okay, so in this case, you're going to do biggest to smallest. Order the numbers from biggest to smallest. Okay, number 15. The total land area in square miles of each 3 states is shown below. Colorado, 103,718. New Mexico, 121,356. Arizona, 113,635. What is the order of the states from least to greatest total land area? Okay, remember it says least to greatest. So now it's going to be the smaller number. You're going to list the numbers smallest to biggest. Okay? And that concludes your homework for Monday, boys and girls. Make sure to do all the pages and submit it when you are done.